Good evening, everybody. I am Rita Lazo. Welcome to the Voices of British Orthodoxy. Today is the 18th of March. We have two saints today. I think as the majority of this video will, of course, be dedicated to Saint Edward the Martyr, I'm actually going to read the entry for our second saint of the day first, which is Saint Egbert, and he is from the 8th century. A monk at Ripon, St. Egbert reposed circa AD 720. No further information on this saint is extant. St. Edward the Martyr, 10th century. The holy and right-believing King Edward the Martyr succeeded his father, St. Edgar the Peaceful, who is commemorated on the 8th of July, as King of England, but was murdered after a reign of only a few years. As the murder was attributed to irreligious opponents, and Edward himself was considered a good Christian, he was glorified as St. Edward the Martyr by an English church council in AD 1001. An act which has been confirmed by the Council of Bishops of the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia. Decree number 255, dated the 6th of September, which would be the 19th on the new calendar, 1979. He may also be considered a passion bearer. So, in here, only the Troparion is listed, but I will try and find the kontakion online and leave it in the description, but if I do find it, then obviously it'll be there, but I can't actually read it out now, and so the Troparion of St. Edward, which is sung in the fourth tone, is celebrating the newly manifest commemoration of the Holy King Edward, who shone forth of old in the virtues and suffered undeservedly. We all bow down before the icon of his honoured countenance, and in gladness cry out, "Truly thou art wonderful in thy saints, O God." I will leave that plus anything else I can find in regards to Troparion and kontakion in the description. If that is it, that is, again, sung in the fourth tone. Anyway, St. Edward ascended to the throne at the age of 13. Though the eldest son of King St. Edgar the Peaceful, Edward's accession to the throne was contested by a group headed by his stepmother, Queen Elfrida, who wished her son, Ethelred the Unready, to become king instead. However, Edward's claim had more support, including that of St. Dunstan, who was commemorated on the 19th of May, and was confirmed by the Witan. Described by Theodoric Paulus as a young man of great devotion and excellent conduct, he was wholly Catholic. Bless me. Anyway, he was wholly Catholic, good, and of holy life. Moreover, above all things, he loved God and the Church. He was generous to the poor, a haven to the good, a champion of the faith of Christ, a vessel filled of every grace. St. Edward continued his father's policies and support for St. Dunstan's reforms. This displeased those nobles who had designs on monastic lands, and they joined with Queen Elfrida in a conspiracy to do away with the young king. On the 18th of March, AD 978, the king was murdered while sitting on his horse outside the home of his younger brother. Almost immediately following his martyrdom, miracles began. Following the murder, the body of the king slipped from the saddle of his horse and was dragged with one foot in the stirrup until the body fell into a stream, which was subsequently found to have healing properties, particularly for the blind. At the base of the hill upon which Corfe Castle stands, Queen Elfrida then ordered the body be hidden in a nearby hut. This hut was occupied by a woman who had been blind from birth, receiving the tenancy from the queen as an act of charity. During the night, the entire hut was filled with a most wondrous light, and struck with awe, the woman cried out, "Lord of mercy," and her sight was restored. The Church of St. Edward at Corfe Castle, Dorset, today, marks the location where the hut is believed to have stood. When the Queen learned of this miracle, she ordered that the body be buried in a marsh near Wareham. However, a year later, a pillar of fire was seen over the spot where the body was hidden. The locals raised the body and was accompanied by a large group of mourners, translated the relics to a church in Wareham, where they buried them in the east end of the church. The relics, which when exhumed were found to be still whole and incorrupt, were next translated to Shaftesbury Abbey, where they were received by the nuns and buried with full honours on the north side of the altar. During the dissolution of the monasteries under Henry VIII, St. Edward's relics were hidden so as to avoid desecration. In AD 931, the relics were recovered by Mr. J.E. Wilson Claridge during an archaeological excavation. Their identity was confirmed by Dr. T.S. Stowell, an Australiologist. These findings were confirmed by the Council of Bishops of the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, Decree number 255, dated 6/19th September AD 1979, forgive me. Mr. Wilson Claridge donated the relics to the Russian Orthodox Church outside of Russia, which placed them in the care of the monastery of the St. Edward Brotherhood at Brookwood Cemetery in Woking, Surrey. That brings us to the end of today's episode. May those two saints intercede for us before the righteous judge. I hope you're all having a wonderful Lent as we do enter our 4th week. No, 5th week, right? Next week is, of course, the Annunciation. So for those of us on the old calendar that do celebrate the Annunciation, next week that will be good. Thank you all for watching. Please do, by the way, keep me in your prayers. I appear to be coming down with a bit of the flu, which might affect, at the very least, the next few days. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and God bless you all. Amen.